Hey J4, today we are going to make bread. I'm going to show you a recipe on how to make bread because when we first started staying at home and every time I went to the store to get groceries, there was never any bread on the shelves. It was gone. Everybody bought it. There was nothing for us to have at home, but my family still had bread because I know how to make bread, and today I'm going to show you how to make bread too. You guys know every time we make a recipe in the classroom, you always like to eat it and you always say it's good. So today you are going to make bread and it's going to be good and you can share it with your families and you can make it anytime you want and you won't have to go to the store to buy bread anymore because you can make it at home. It's that simple. Today when we do our bread recipe, I'm using paper because my whiteboard behind me, I took it down, it was just too far. You guys couldn't read the words. So I just wrote everything down on paper so that you can see the ingredients, the recipe, the steps on how to make bread, and it's all good, okay? So what are we doing today? What are we doing? We are making bread. That's right. Making bread is not that hard. Super easy. These are the amounts of the ingredients you need. So this is called the recipe. The recipe gives you the amounts of the ingredients you need. The first ingredient we need is 1.5 cups flour. Almost everybody has flour at home. No reason to go to the store. Then we need 14 ounces of warm water. Water comes out of the faucet. Then 1.5 teaspoons of salt. I think everybody has salt at home. The one thing you might need is the next ingredient. 1.25 teaspoon dry yeast. Not everybody has yeast at home. I have yeast in my refrigerator, so I didn't have to go buy it. But if you need to buy yeast, get dry yeast, and it will be at the grocery store. You can find it at the grocery store. Just have mom and dad put it on the grocery list next time they go. Okay? So now we're going to go to the steps on how to make the bread. It's going to be easy, going to be good. We're going to go through the steps first, and then I'm going to put together the recipe. I'm going to show you how easy it is to make. I'm going to let it rise, come back. I'll show you how to put it in the pan, let it rise again. I'm going to bake it. I'll come back and I'll show you what it looks like when it's done. It's super, super simple. Okay, so let's start with step 1. Gather materials needed. What does that mean? Gather materials needed. That's when you get all of the stuff that you need to make the bread. Okay, so the first thing you need to do is make sure you have your ingredients: flour, water, salt, and yeast. Remember, yeast might not be in your cupboard. You might have to go to the store and buy some, but you should be able to find it, okay? Again, the ingredients are flour, water, salt, and yeast. Okay, what are we going to do with all that stuff? You can't just throw it together. You need tools, kitchen tools. You need utensils. So here are the tools needed: measuring cups, bowl, pan, measuring spoons, a spoon, and plastic wrap. Okay, let's go through that list again. You need measuring cups to make sure you put the right amount of ingredients in. You need a bowl to mix everything in. You need something to put it in. You need a pan to cook your bread in, or actually bake it. You bake in the oven, you cook on the stove. Sorry about that. So you need a pan to bake your bread in. You need measuring spoons because some of the ingredients are small amounts, so you don't need a big cup, you just need a spoon. Then you need a spoon to mix it. And last, you need plastic wrap to put over your bowl when it's rising. Let me adjust this a little bit. There you go. Okay, that was step 1. Gather your materials. Step 2, pour 14 ounces of warm water in the bowl. That's it. Step 2. Pour the water in the bowl. Easy. Step 3. Add 1½ teaspoons of salt. Everybody has salt. 1½ teaspoons. So far, so good. Easy peasy. Step 4. Add 1¼ teaspoons of dry yeast. 1¼ teaspoons of dry yeast. Okay. Step 5. Here we go. Add 3½ cups of flour. Did you get it? Step 5, 3½ cups of flour. Step 6, stir everything up. It says stir everything using the handle end of the spoon. The handle end? Why would you use the handle end? Because if you use the spoon part of the spoon, all the ingredients sticks. But if you use the handle end, it does not stick. Okay, I'll show you how it sticks and how it won't stick to the handle when it comes time for me to mix it. Step 7, cover with plastic and place in the oven to rise for 90 minutes. Make sure your oven is off. This is not time to bake it. You're just putting it in the oven to give it a nice quiet area where it's not going to get draft or it's not going to get cold. And I'm talking about your bowl. You don't want your bowl to get cold. So you're going to put it in the oven, but the oven is going to be off. Got it? Cover with plastic and place in the oven for 90 minutes. Make sure the oven is off. Okay, step 8. Stir the dough. When you take your dough out of the oven, it's in the bowl, stir it up with that spoon again. Then pour the dough into a greased pan. I'm going to use a loaf pan, but I can show you other kinds of pans you can use in case you don't have that. You can pour it into any kind of pan and you still get bread. It doesn't have to be like mine and look like a loaf. It can be a different kind of bread. It can be round. It can be square. It's bread. Okay? Then place the bread in the pan on the counter and wait 30 minutes. Okay? While your bread is on the counter for 30 minutes, turn your oven on to 400 degrees. It's going to get ready to start baking the bread. You have to turn it on to 400 in order to bake this bread. Once your oven is hot and it's been 30 minutes, put your bread in the oven. That's step 10. Step 10 is bake in the oven for 40 minutes. That's it. Bake in the oven for 40 minutes. Step 11. After 40 minutes, you want to take your bread out. Let the bread cool before eating. If you don't let it cool before eating, you might burn your mouth. Nobody wants that. But let your bread cool before eating and then enjoy it. Have a good time. Share the bread with your family. It's going to come out good, I guarantee. You guys are going to have bread. It's going to be good. You can make it anytime you want once you learn how to do it. It's going to be great. In the next clip, I'm going to go through and I'm going to show you guys how to assemble the bread and put it in the bowl. Mix it up. It's going to be easy. I'll see you in a few minutes.